Good Monday morning on a frigid day in Frisco, Texas. Frigid Frisco. I'm Mike Fisher, your trusty and trusted reporter. This is the Fish Bowl, where tonight, Fish at 6 live, we give away the $50 gift certificate to Chili's, no place else. So you can take your sweetheart on a post-Valentine's Day deal. Simply type in the word Valentine's, and that'll make you eligible. No purchase necessary, of course. We do appreciate when you hit the like button and sign up for your free subscription. It's worth every penny here as you become one of the 73,000 fish heads in Cowboy Nation. Also, go to cowboyscountry.com. Thanks to BetUS for helping us muscle up here. Dak Prescott swears his Cowboys are very close to being on the Philadelphia Eagles level as Super Bowl contenders. Micah Parsons seems to agree, as long as Dallas is aggressive in terms of its roster building. Those two views are now being disputed by critics who think Dak is delusional, and by skeptics like you who think Dallas maybe can, but won't spend. But this much is true. We can agree on this. The process does need to begin with identifying your own who's who on your own roster. Dallas coming off the 7-10 season, blick. And therefore, by the way, that was real. And I would caution all of us to be careful in the trap of falling too much in love with your own guys. Should you evaluate your own guys? Sure. Should you sign your great guys? Yes. Should you sign your good guys to decent prices? Sure. But this group doesn't merit being overrated. They haven't been good enough to say, let's just keep the band together. But you identify the who's who on your roster. 25 guys slated to be free agents with the NFL business year and free agency slated for March 12th. That's the opening of when you can sign people. You can flirt with them on March 10th. Jerry and Steven have the chance to create and spend $100 million in cap room this offseason. This has been an indisputable fact since we first diagnosed it and reported it literally a year ago. Now the rest of the world is starting to come around. Good, welcome. And Cowboys Nation, you, along with Micah and others, obviously hopes that they are telling the truth about the idea of at least examining the pursuit of outside free agents. Jerry and Steven have hinted at that. They also have reason to be proud of their work in terms of what they've done in draft, develop, and sign. It's not like that's a bad idea. The only thing wrong with it is the Cowboys pretend like it's something unique. We like to draft and develop. They got McCarthy saying it all the time. It's just another way of saying, yeah, but we don't want to do the other. And you got to do the other. So you can start signing your own guys at any time. The aforementioned 25 guys ready to hit free agency. On this list, an assortment of guys. You got 4 Pro Bowlers. You got real contributors. You've got guys who you need to say goodbye to. Either they're not good enough or not worth what the market will spend on them. There's one big name that I think is going to come into that area. So I'm going to rattle through all the guys and I'm going to give you my top 5. I invite you, of course, to do the same. Give me your top 5. Top 5 guys that the Cowboys must keep, assuming the price is right. By the way, thank you to BetUS for being a part of what we do here. Go to BetUS.com, use the promo code YouTube150 and get 150% off on your initial investment up to $2,000 in your own gambling brilliance. BetUS.com. Here we go. Quarterback, Rush and Lance. Running back, Rico. Receiver, Cooks and Cavante, who we need to go back to in a minute. Offensive line, Zach Martin, Chuma, Brock Hoffman. We'll get back to him in a minute. Defensive line, Osa, Tank, Chauncey, Carl Lawson, Linval Joseph, Carlos Watkins, and Tyrus Wheat. Linebackers, Eric Kendricks, Nick Vigil. Defensive backs, Marquise Bell, Jordan Lewis, A.O., Izzy, Wanye. Special teams, Brian Anger, Trent Sieg, and I put C.J. Goodwin in that category. My top 5 in my ranking irrespective of cost now. So let's not worry about the money yet. Number one, by far, Osa. He's the hardest, one of the hardest kinds of talent to find. He's a almost playmaking interior defensive lineman. Now the standard in this era is the now retired Aaron Donald. The guy chasing him is the very young Eagle, Jalen Carter. Osa's not that. Let's be careful here. If somebody wants to offer him 4 years and $100 million, I don't think that's budget-wise for the Cowboys or anybody else. But in terms of ranking my most valued, most coveted, Osa's number one. Number two, I'm not letting go of the idea of Zach Martin as a value yet. As I've told you, he's been talking about retirement for 8 months. And you're approaching your mid-30s and you're talking about retirement, and I think we all know what that means. But if the number is right and he wants to keep playing, I don't want to see him playing for the Bengals. I'd rather see him, he's not going to be a great player anymore, I think. I don't think that's hurting anybody's feelings. But if he can be a good player at the right price and wants to do it, I'm not letting go of that. Number three, Tank Lawrence. Same exact thing. Tank Lawrence is not retiring. He could still play. He could still do a lot of things. Injuries starting to catch up, no doubt. But depending on the dollars, I want Tank Lawrence on my team. And by the way, I think other teams do. I can certainly imagine Washington with Dan Quinn taking another dip into the Cowboys roster. Number four, Chauncey Golson. Now, see a great talent, great performer? No. Big guy, play inside or out, very athletic. Again, tough position to find. And I do think he can come at the right price. And then my number five guy is Jordan Lewis. And they keep bringing him back at very affordable salaries. This will probably be his last chance for a bite at the apple. So he might not be in the mood for a hometown discount. We shall see. You'll notice that I don't list Kevontae Turpin on this list, but that's because he's restricted. Dallas has contractual control here. Same thing with Brock Hoffman, contractual control. After my conversation with Mike Zimmer, I'm more convinced than ever that Eric Kendricks can play. But I remember the rest of the league not banging down the door for him next year, so I don't put him in my top five. I put Jordan Lewis in my top five because I do think teams might try to lure him away and give him a little bigger bite than he's gotten financially here in the past. I'm interested in your top five and your thoughts on all 25. We also share some of those thoughts and talk about this and write about this at cowboyscountry.com. Fish at 6 tonight. A $50 gift certificate to Chili's, courtesy of Sugar, can and will be somebody's. So just write in all over the course of the day. Type in here Valentine's and make yourself eligible for that. We will see you at Fish at 6 tonight. Thanks to 73,000 fish heads in Cowboy Nation. You can't be wrong, nor can you be wrong if you play around at BetUS. For now, Fish out.